What's up, YouTube? It's Onion Bomb here, and welcome to my NFL Week 6 game predictions. Before we move on to predict the games for Week 6, let's go back and look at what happened with Week 5 on how I did. And as you can see, I went 7-7. It's not, the overall record for the time being is not going to add up to 16 anymore. Just because certain teams are going on bye weeks from time to time. As you can see, this week it ended up with up to 14, and I went 7-7, which is pretty much the equivalent of going 8-8 if all 16 teams are playing. So I mean, not the worst, not the best. It's not really bad, but it's not really good. It's neutral. Got 7 wins, 7 losses. The win and loss is still between 6, and that brings the overall up to 34-28. So hopefully we can get into more positive range soon. But this week, hopefully we can get back into it. But still into Week 5. Let's see which games I got right and wrong. Patriots and the Buccaneers, I got that right. The Patriots won. The Colts beat the 49ers, I got that right. The Jets beat the Browns, I got that wrong. I knew I didn't feel right about that pick, but well. The Jaguars destroyed the Steelers, I got that wrong. I'm not even going to talk about that. The Chargers beat the Giants, I got that right. Poor Giants fans. The Bengals beat the Bills, I got that wrong. How are the Bills about to beat the Falcons and the Broncos, but lose to the Bengals? I don't know. The Panthers beat the Lions. I got that wrong. The Dolphins beat the Titans. I got that wrong. I actually did not know Mariota was injured. So if I knew otherwise, I probably would have picked the Dolphins, but I didn't. So oh well. See, that's why I was trying to say. I don't really follow all the teams on injuries and stuff. I know that was a pretty big one, but still I didn't know about it. That was my bad. The Eagles beat the Cardinals pretty heavily. I got that right. The Ravens beat the Raiders. I got that wrong. Once again, the Derek Carr, I think, is injured too. Didn't know about that. The Seahawks beat the Rams. I got that right. The Packers beat the Cowboys, I got that right. The Chiefs beat the Titans, I got that right. And then the Vikings beat the Bears, I got that wrong. And that adds up to a 7-7 record, like I said. So, without further ado, let's move on to the picks for week number 6. All for the NFL week number 6 picks, starting off with Thursday night football. The Eagles versus the Panthers. I have the Eagles. This is going to be an interesting game. It's a little bit of a toss-up. I just think the Eagles have been performing really well lately. So have the Panthers. Don't get me wrong, they beat the Lions. But I just have more faith in the Eagles to win this. But this one could go either way. But like I said, I just am leaning towards the Eagles. So I will take the Eagles over the Panthers. Moving on to the Sunday games, the Bears and the Ravens. I have the Ravens. Honestly, as much as I hate to say it, the Ravens are a better team than the Bears. Maybe the Bears will upset the Ravens. I hope, but I just don't see it. Definitely because the Steelers lost to the Bears. I can definitely see the Ravens winning this just to make the Steelers look stupid. So I just think the Ravens are going to win this. I hope they don't. I think they're going to win this, sadly. Moving on to the Packers versus the Vikings. I have the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, they're just a better team than the Vikings. I just think so. I think they got this. Not really a whole lot to be said there. I just have more faith in the Packers to win that than the Vikings. Maybe an up. I don't even really see an upset happening, to be honest. I was about to say that, but I just think the Packers are winning. Next, we have the Redskins and the 49ers. I think this is the first time I will be picking the Redskins. I could be wrong, but I don't think the Redskins have versed an opponent yet that I had faith of them winning. But Now they're versing the 49ers. The 49ers, of course, came off to a loss of the Colts, and Andrew Luck is injured. I think he's about to come back. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm a little bit hazy on some of the news, but he wasn't there for the 49ers, and they still lost. So, yeah, the Redskins actually had some impressive wins, like against the Raiders, and they had a close one against the Chiefs. I think they're coming off a bye week, too. So I think the Redskins will win this one. Next up, we have Lions and Saints. I have the Lions. The Lions coming off a loss from the Panthers, which, I mean, is an understandable loss. The Panthers are an alright team. I did think the Lions were going to do that one, but they didn't. But yeah, I just think the Lions are still kind of elite. So I think they will win against the Saints, who, I don't know, Saints don't seem to be the best, but they could do this, but I just think the Lions have this one. Next up, the Dolphins and the Falcons. I have the Falcons, of course. The Dolphins beating the Titans. However, the Titans did not have Mariota, and that was a big factor. I still think the Dolphins aren't that good. They still lost to the Jets. They still got blown up by the Saints. And the Falcons have been on a really good win streak, even though they did lose. I didn't mean a win streak. I mean, they have had some good wins. But they did lose to the Bills, which was disappointing. But they did beat like the Packers and other teams that are pretty good. So I think the Falcons have it. Next up, Texans and the Browns. Of course, I have the Texans. Deshaun Watson and just the entire Texans team actually looks not that bad. They did lose to the Patriots and they lost to the Chiefs, but they gave those games. They gave them both games, and that's important. They are going to destroy the Browns. The Browns can't get anything going still. I picked them over the Jets, which was a mistake, and I picked them over the the Colts. Jeez, I'm messing up today. I picked them over the Colts without Andrew Luck, and they lost that one too. So there's no. I think I'm done picking the Browns, guys. I really don't think I'll be picking the Browns anymore this season. So sorry, Browns fans, but I got the Texans, and I probably won't be picking your team anymore this season. Next up, Patriots and Jets. The Patriots. The Jets may have been a little bit more surprising than I thought they were going to be. They might have a better record than the Patriots right now, but that's going to change, and the Patriots are going to blow out the Jets. I can see it. All right, maybe they won't blow them out, but they're definitely going to beat the Jets. If they don't, I'm going to think so much less of the Patriots, but they have to do this. Like, this is probably my most confident pick. Either that one or the one against the Browns. This is probably my most confident pick. The Patriots are going to win this. Next up, Buccaneers and the Cardinals. I have the Buccaneers. I do pick the Buccaneers a lot, but I think they're a good team. The Cardinals don't seem to be the best team. I just think the Buccaneers have what it takes to win this. They just seem like a better team to me. And yeah, it looks like the Bucs have more skill than the Cardinals right now. They're just looking better as a team. So I have the Buccaneers. Next up is probably the hardest one I had to think about, and this is the Rams versus the Jaguars. I thought about this one for a minute. I know the Steelers completely choked against the Jaguars. The Rams lost to the Seahawks, but they didn't lose that bad, and the Rams are looking pretty elite. The Jaguars are so-so. They lost to the Jets, but they did blow out the Ravens, and they crushed the Steelers. So it was a toss-up, a bad toss-up, but I have the Rams. I just think they're gonna win this. I don't know. The Jaguars came off a amazing win against the Rams, and then they lost to the Jets. So they're coming off an amazing win against the Steelers. Maybe that trend continues, even though because the Rams aren't even as bad as the Jets, and the Jets are pretty bad. So I don't feel comfortable picking the Jaguars. I just think they kind of got lucky, and the Steelers had a poor performance. So I feel more comfortable taking the Rams, so I am going to take the Rams just because I really want to put my score up a little bit more positive because there's only 6 more right picks than wrong picks. So I hope it's right, but yeah, that was big toss-up, but I finally went with the Rams. Next up, the Chargers versus the Raiders. I have the Raiders. I know that Derek Carr was injured last week. I really don't know if he's coming back or not. Even if he doesn't come back, I feel like the Chargers would do something and like choke to the Raiders that do not have Derek Carr. Even though the Raiders are a completely different team without Derek Carr, and I feel like I heard somewhere that he could come back. It's still like he's questionable. I don't really know, but I'm gonna go with the Raiders. Maybe I'm wrong and he won't come back and the Chargers are going to kill him. But I just feel like even if he doesn't come back, the Chargers are going to choke to the Raiders without their star quarterback. And if he is there, then the Raiders are definitely a better team than the Chargers with their car. Next up, Steelers at the Chiefs. This was another hard one. I got the Steelers. Let me explain. I know I'm a Steelers fan and you guys are probably already calling me biased. It seems like we're going to get killed. We lost to the Bears. We lost to the Jaguars. Bad to the Jaguars. Been through 5 interceptions. 5. And the Chiefs are on fire. They're the only undefeated team remaining in the league. They're 5-0. And you're like, come on. Really, on your mom, you think your Steelers are gonna be the ones to take out the Chiefs? I know I've been saying that, like, I don't really feel like this team's gonna take out the Chiefs. I don't really feel like this team's gonna take out the Chiefs. I feel like the Steelers will take off the Chiefs. Last year, the Steelers blew out the Chiefs, 40-something to like only 1 touchdown. Then in the playoffs, they beat them only with field goals. The Chiefs are looking for revenge. They have Kareem Hunt. The Steelers are terrible at stopping the run. A lot of signs are pointing to the Chiefs. But I'm sticking with the Steelers because I gotta be wild a little bit because sometimes you just gotta be wild, and why not be wild with my Steelers? So it's a bit out there. A lot of signs are pointing towards Chiefs because it's at Arrowhead too. A lot of signs are pointing to victory towards the Chiefs. So I guess you could say that this is like an upset. Even though the Steelers aren't a bad team, they just are bad against bad teams, which the Chiefs aren't a bad team, which is why I think we're at least going to give them a game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, even though we got pretty crushed by the Jaguars. I don't think this is going to be a blowout. So, I don't know. I know that was a lot of explaining for one game, but I try to keep it short, but I just had to explain that. And yeah, I have the Steelers, guys. Maybe I'm wrong, but I got the Steelers. Alright, last Sunday game is the Giants versus the Broncos. I got the Broncos, guys. The Broncos have been winning lately. I think they were also one of the teams on their bye week last week. I might need to be corrected there, but I'm not too sure. And yeah, I've been going a little bit against the Broncos against tough opponents. And I was for the Broncos against the Bills, but the Bills beat them. So I'm going with the Broncos. I'm sorry, Giants fans. You guys lost all of your receivers. So I don't see you guys winning this one against the Broncos. There's no way. This This honestly might be, I don't know. Either the Patriots over the Jets, the Texans over the Browns, or the Broncos over the Giants. Those are my 3 most confident picks right here. All the other ones I'm a bit iffy on, but we'll just see how it turns out. But yeah, this one, the Broncos are winning. I'm sorry. The Giants, they're not that bad of a team. They just are in a horrible position with injuries. So I just don't. All right, the last game, Monday Night Football, a divisional rivalry with starting quarterbacks off the table. At least I believe so. The Colts versus the Titans. The Titans have Matt Castle. The Colts have Jacoby Brissett. The Colts do not have Andrew Luck. The Titans do not have Mariota. At least I don't think so. The only thing I'm on the fence about is if Mariota is coming in. I'm taking the Titans. Even with Mariota, I would have picked the Titans, no question. How if Andrew Luck came in and Mariota wasn't in, I would have picked the Colts, no question. If both of the starting quarterbacks were in, I still would have picked the Titans. And if both quarterbacks are out, which I think is the case, I'm going with the Titans just because I don't know. I feel like I have more confidence in them. I haven't really seen what they could do besides last week, and they did lose without Mariota, that is. The Colts haven't done much without Andrew Luck. So, I'm going with the Titans just because the Colts haven't shown me anything. The Titans haven't shown me anything, but they haven't had a chance. So, I'd rather risk it with the Titans than go with the Colts, which I know aren't the best without Andrew Luck. So, yeah, I got the Titans. That's it. So that pretty much wraps up Week 6 picks. Let's go through them really quickly here. I have the Eagles being the Panthers, the Ravens being the Bears, the Packers being the Vikings, the Redskins beating the 49ers, the Lions being the Saints, the Falcons being the Dolphins, the Texans being the Browns, the Patriots being the Jets, the Buccaneers being the Cardinals, the Rams being the Jaguars, the Raiders being the Chargers, the Steelers being the Chiefs, the Broncos being the Giants, and the Titans beating the Colts. Like I said, I have a lot of picks that can go either way. Picks seem to get harder and harder as the weeks go on, even though it might not have been as hard as last week because there was a ton of tough picks. But there are a bunch of tough picks too. I don't know. I went wild with the Steelers one. I might start to get even more wild just to see if I can bounce back this record because I'm still doing positive. I'm still doing okay, but I'd like to zoom up that record a little bit. I don't know. I don't want the losses to catch up to me. All it takes is one bad negative record, and their losses could either pass up my wins or be pretty darn close to the wins in total. So yeah, those were my picks for Week 6. If you want to know how I did, make sure you check out Week 7's prediction video because I'll recap it. I'll recap how I did in Week 6 before I give the Week 7 picks like I did with Week 5 in this video. And then yeah, you'll get my Week 7 picks. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like or dislike. Subscribe or don't subscribe. You know it's always up to you. And I'll see you guys in the next video you watch of me. Goodbye.